Anarchy. Sorry about that. I was just checking to see if everything was actually working, which it apparently is. Although it doubled the audio because I had it open in another window also, so oh well. So yeah, I have no idea what I'm feeling like doing tonight, so I thought I'd put it to an audience vote or something. I'm trying to avoid starting anything new, but you know, probably any of the stuff we've been doing over the past few weeks slash months slash years, especially if it gets it off our plate, I suppose. It's not to say that I am in any way have the capability of finishing something, but you know, I'll throw it out there. So I don't know if you all have any ideas about things you might be interested in seeing. We do have our old Valheim server that we haven't been to in a while. We could attempt speedrunning Stray for the last achievement. I am not in a good place to get it done in 2 hours, but we could at least go for a couple runs and see what happens. We could do some more stuff in Elite. I'm mostly leaning toward either missions, potpourri, some BGS stuff to try to get our faction boosted, some power play stuff to get our power play faction boosted, or just, I don't think they're doing any community goals at the moment, so we could, I did get Skyrim working, so we could do that. Get more stuff done in Risk of Rain. 1, 2, or returns. Yeah. Let's take a look at the next Astroneer event, because that's also going on. No, not anything new. Not anything new. I looked over and I'm like, oh yeah, Starbound would be pretty cool. No, stop that. I mean, I have finished Skyrim, but I've done one stream with this character and one stream with a differently modded character. And now that the new mods have been put into place, like, the old one would just be an exercise in futility, I think. I do have some spooky type stuff that is lined up for later on in this month, including even just like, you know, on odd days of the week or something like that. I finally did uninstall a few games that like we 100%ed, so I'm not going to be doing them anytime soon. I will continue to leave Outer Wilds on there, despite the fact that maybe I'm probably not going to be doing it on stream anymore, just because, like, if somebody came in, I would just be like, hey, tons of spoilers. We do need to get back into Hyperbolica eventually, and I need to finish Manifold Garden. Heaven's Vault, I need to finish Heaven's Vault, but we need to rearrange the save files. Alright, and we just started Against the Storm and Satisfactory, which we could, of course, go for either of those. Yeah. Or in my case, double, because... Oh, man. I did my Outer Wilds tour as my first stream here. So that was, or first non-mathematical stream. So that's been 3 years. And then we did Echoes of the Eye. Yep. We did Echoes of the Eye when it first came out. I actually... Cool story. I hope nobody from my work is here. Yeah, I called in sick that day. So, and then it was pretty awesome because I ended up screwing something up real bad in it, and like I solved the initial puzzle of how to get to the area via trigonometry because I teach trig. And then I got to the door, and I was like, I can't figure out this door. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Then I went back to the main game, and I was like, let's see if there's another thing in the main game somewhere that would, like, help me out with this. No, there is not. Yeah, I also need to get BG3 to work again. I think it's having some Linux temper tantrums. And so I need to fix it. It's the same problem. No, I shouldn't say the same problem. I'm having an issue with that game in particular. And I think it's a Proton error. And then I'm having an issue with DaVinci Resolve, which everybody's like, you shouldn't be having a problem with DaVinci Resolve, and I'm like, I know. I followed the instructions of like this fix that a guy had, and it still did not work. So I need to like uninstall it, make sure everything is downloaded, and then follow his instructions to the letter. Do not deviate 1 iota, and try to make it work that way. Alright, so later on this month, we do have, put it here. We do have Slay the Princess. No Time to Explain. Keep It in Mind, and Voyager 19. So those are going to be a bit later this month. They do have some intense silver. No, that's fair. You get... Alright, 20s tonight. So, thank you very much for the make sure to actually get up and do some work. I guess technically I'm putting him back in the same place, so it's doing no work, right? You do what you can. Yep. So I was working this week at Eskrima, and we learned like multiple combinations. I won't actually do it, but nonetheless. So when you're doing two stick stuff, we started from this position instead of side guard. So if you're doing a side guard, it was like up, down, swap, and then tuck, and now you're in a another position to start from your left side. And then our instructor added in some, I will get back to actually weightlifting here in a sec, added some where you you're basically taking swipes at people. Keep in mind, these are machetes. So you're going over like this, and then, let's see, you're starting from here, starting from both shoulders. So you cut at somebody twice, and then you go to the guard position here, and now you're ready to do this one, just the same as you did before. And then you start from this side, and instead of going down again, you come up from this side, and then, what was it? Oh, no, we just go up twice, and then you're back on the shoulder. And then you could start from the other side again. So, cut down on the left, and now you're in the right guard. And now you're back on to left guard, cut up on the right. So you're doing typically 45-degree angles coming across the body like that when you do it correctly, which I do not. But it is really badass. Like, I can't tell you how much I enjoy this, having done karate for almost 20 years and like never done weapons training at all. Like, this sort of stuff is just a lot of fun. And I had a guy in our organization who also did Eskrima wherever he was. I can't remember exactly where he lived for a while. It might have been Philippines, in which case he learned it like directly. But he may have also lived in Japan or Korea. Yeah. Yes, we also don't threaten people. We also don't carry around club weapons in jolly old England, because they turn not so jolly real quick. Do I have a black belt? No. So I actually have a first-degree brown belt in Tangsudo Karate, which is the same style that was popularized by Chuck Norris in the United States. It's been in Korea basically 100, 200 years. I don't remember the actual history of it, so I'll have to look that up later. But they also did... it's not a threat, it's a promise. Yep. What is it? They were also part of an organization that's called Muda Kwan. So... I also, again, don't remember the translations exactly. Or at all. Down to 15s. This is also something to do. So my spouse and I used to do a extreme workout back when we were actually fit. And it was that you would do like a whole bunch of exercises at the highest weight that you could possibly do it until your muscles literally failed. And then you would go and grab the next weight down and do that again until your muscles failed. And then you could keep going down if you needed to, but the idea was that you'd still get through eventually all, 20 to 40 reps or whatever it was you were doing. I think we got... No, the 20s were the biggest we had. But... yeah, it was a good time overall. Thank you, Silver. So I was actually working toward my black belt, but I was going to need like 3 more years. And I don't have a whole lot of confidence when it comes to particularly karate. I just always like overthink things, and I'm getting better now with weapons training, quite frankly, because like you have to feel it. You just have to know where this thing is going, because if you end up coming across your body incorrectly and your wrist is at the wrong angle, you will smack yourself across the head. I did in fact hit myself upside the head once yesterday. I'm like, all right, well, I'm glad that's not metal. And it was this one, which is a 250 gram polycarbonate. The other sticks that we use are rattan. This one has a 500 gram ironwood, so it's pretty good. This one's also 2 inches shorter, so like on the other one, I actually choke up further on the smaller ones. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be basically right to the end, and that way you can also use the butt end as a weapon if you needed to. But for the most part, you're supposed to be here so you can do whatever you need to. But yeah, ironwood is really heavy. I'm not actually sure that's ironwood now that I'm thinking about it. My instructor had I want to say it was a 200 to 250 gram stick that was like half that size. So I'm thinking his was more toward that end. This might have been. It might have been advertised as ironwood, not been at all. Yeah, it was like I just held it and like whipped it around a couple of times. We were you have to see it, right? This is a visual art here. This is not something I could just talk through. So when we're doing things with the stick, typically you're either coming from an open guard here or you're coming from a closed guard here. And if you are whipping this out at somebody, then obviously you're aiming for basically like here right at the temple, or potentially you're aiming for the other person's hand. So you whack their hand, and that gets them immediately to drop their weapon. But from here, there were like several things that we were doing. One of which was to do a fan block, where you go this way and block this here, and then whip it around the other way. Now you've blocked, like either blocked twice, or again you hit their stick, so now the stick is out of the way, or you hit their hand, or you use the motion to then whip down. You hit their stick or hit their machete and come right down it, and again smack the person on the hand, make them lose it, whatever it is that is going to be done. Yeah, this particular style of yup. And I mean, we were practicing with like 100 gram padded sticks that are full rattan, not polycarbonate or like rattan is a lot like bamboo, right? So it's not like just a bamboo stick. It's a little bit thinner and yet stronger, and more lightweight. But you get these things going and like our, the thing that I was doing with the like 1, 2 underneath block switch, all that stuff. Yeah, that particular combination, you tend to slap the other person's hand quite a bit, but if you've got, we had padded gloves on, and still like that little spot right here, right around the stick, typically the back of the thumb was where most of the stick ended up coming down on if you ended up having your partner come down the stick. So we all had nice little bruises right here for a couple of days. Good times. All right. So we've got a few different things we can do. I was talking with Henrik a bit earlier. I don't want to do anything new. So we could go either with Against the Storm or Satisfactory, which we started this last week. Or we could try to finish Manifold Garden. We got a few horror games that I'm going to do later this month. So we'll wait until we're closer to Halloween. We could do more Elite Dangerous, which probably will have its own Halloween event at some point soonish. But mostly in Elite right now, I'm doing Stellar Cartography with Super Chicken. We're doing Work for Zachary Hudson, which, quite frankly, we're maybe getting closer to the end of. I've got all of his stuff done, pretty much. We've got the Boot Brigade that we're working with for Commander Psyche, and we're trying to clean up a bunch of stuff there, or we could just run missions for whoever. Or we have Valheim, which I still have a server that I have not gotten very far with. I'm in the swamps, I think. Can't remember if I defeated Loader or not. Not Loader. What's his name? Either way, we're probably getting close to the mountains. Do Astroneer, which has, again, the new event has come up, so it would be a lot of like fixing. Prismatic Queen. Good evening and welcome. My name is Obi-Wan Pez. This is in Simplex Pachinko. We do mathy stuff on Tuesdays and gamey stuff on Fridays and whatever we feel like in between. So feel free to grab a drink, put your feet up, what have you. Grab a tablet, work on some math. Not many people probably invite you to do that. And I need to close Stream Elements so that we don't end up getting doubled audio all the time. Ooh. Hopefully that will not suddenly go off. I say we got Risk of Rain 1, 2, and Returns. We could work on a bit Nuita. Stray, I could work toward getting the 2-hour. Cowboy Bebop, I did not say Cowboy Bebop. Stray, I have not gotten the 2-hour speedrun achievement, so we can try to move toward that. And we've got Skyrim, had a new modded game that I started, and I think I've got it balanced, so it should not crash. Yes, Talos guide me. The Talos whose amulet does literally nothing. I mean, if you wanted further proof, right, that Talos technically is not a god. Hey, Zach. Yes, I have played the Talos Principle, #1. I do want to finish that as well, come to think of it. I can't remember. Yeah, I wanted to finish that as well. I don't know that I have it on here right now that I'm thinking about it. Puzzle. Yeah, no, I don't have it installed right now, but something to think about. You know what, I'm going to link a couple of these. That'll work. Alright, so we're going to go for a 5-minute poll. Everybody can take a look and see if you're at all interested in voting on one of those things. I did not add extra votes for, you know, at cost, sorry. And as I said, I've got other more horror-themed games that we can play at some point over the month. I just didn't want to start anything new for tonight, so. Yeah, Henrik, I ended up 100%ing Talos Principle when it first came out. And then when, like I was off by a few achievements, I think, but like I did the good ending. So I had like all of the red blocks. All of them. There were a few other things that I definitely got all the way through. But we got the good ending, and then I tried to get the like mediocre ending as well. I never got the minimalist ending or the speedrunner ending. But you know, it's not really me. I also did it originally on YouTube, so my N-Simplex Pachinko channel might be under Obi-Wan Pez, I don't remember. Does have a playlist for Talos Principle. I believe it was called "You're a Sick Bastard," because I was playing the Talos Principle during the pandemic, which, if you know the story, might be a little tone deaf. But yeah, it was yep. So I did all the stars and all the reds. It was crazy. Like, I don't recommend it. But then I was trying to like get as many as I could for my stream run, and I got to the third, you know, the medieval type world. And it got kind of rough, and I'm like, I don't remember how to do any of this stuff, and it just kind of crashed and burned at that point, because I wasn't going to sit there for 20 minutes thinking while everybody else on stream's like, move that thing. All right, Caramel Trocui, hello. Good evening and welcome. My name is Obi-Wan Pez. This is Simplex Pachinko. We do mathy type stuff on Tuesdays, gamey type stuffs on Fridays, and whatever else we feel like any other time we feel like it. Welcome on in. Hope you enjoy your stay. We do have mathy type people all throughout our stream and all throughout our community. Eat of the Two-Eye Pie, that's Zach, is one of our other math chads. We also have Dawn Does Math, who is currently playing DayZ. Penn Center, E.N. Stuckey, Danny Highway, and Dr. Gold at Actual Education. Sequel's even better? Oh man, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to doing it. I just need to get some of this stuff off my yeah. Off this list. Right now my favorites are 34 games long, and those are the ones that I just play all the time or like really want to work at. Yes, so I am a math teacher, or rather I used to be, but I still do it here on Twitch. So that counts.